Alright, it's been a couple of days since I last messed with the generator. I just started it and ran it again, and still not really idling that well, and still got a problem where it surges at high RPM, which of course with the generator is a major problem because then your voltage fluctuates too much. So I decided that before I go taking the carburetor apart again and messing with that, I'm going to just try and shoot some of the jets in the carb, which is basically just a matter of I'm going to put a straw on this can of carb cleaner so I could pinpoint where I shoot it in, and while it's running I'm going to shoot a jet of carb cleaner right into this port here and this port here to see whether or not I can't clear a potential blockage which might be causing my problem, because it does seem like the issue appears to be that it's running lean, because I did get some backfiring out of the carburetor also. seem to be doing it. Still not sure what we got going on here. Maybe a little bit of water blowing out of that breather. I guess I should really see what's in here for oil. Okay, I drained off gas from the big tank here into this glass jar. I don't see any contaminants or water in it, so I think the fuel's okay. I'm gonna hook up my temporary fuel tank, and I'm only going to rig that up so that it can sit up here and feed fuel directly into the carburetor, so I can make sure that I don't have some kind of weird gravity flow issue with the fact that the feed comes in on the other side of the carburetor now. Shouldn't make a difference, but. And then the other thing I can do is that'll allow me to put a high concentration of seafoam into this fuel and run that through the engine and see if that helps things. Alright, so now I got seafoam concentrated in there. Dump that into this tank, rig the tank up and run it. Alright, so now I got my tank rigged. See how this works out. Alright, so it's idling pretty good, but it was doing that before, so that's nothing new. So now we're on high. I'm just going to leave it running. Ten minutes later, it's still running like crap. Well, I just took the bowl off this carburetor and I found some granules in the bottom of the bowl that are actually rust that came off the inside. There was some rust buildup. I didn't clean it up well enough the first time. I just cleaned it up some more now, so this actually looks a lot better. But I'm even going to go one step further. I'm going to take my roto tool with a little sanding drum on it, and I'm going to completely remove all of that rust. Because I believe what's happening is the gas is causing that rust to break off, and the little granules are falling into the bowl and then getting sucked into the carburetor. Now that bowl's really clean. But while I get the carb apart again, I'm going to try and run the passages and make sure they're all clear. Well, I think I found something. Right here, where my finger's pointing, there's a tiny hole. And that tiny hole, I didn't notice it before, but that goes right through and it corresponds to what looks like a tiny hole on the inside of that threaded area. So I just tried running my cleaners, one of my cleaners through there, which these are, I've used these in a lot of carburetor jobs. These are for cleaning welding tips, and they're great for running these little tiny orifices and passageways in carburetors, and I can't get it to go through, so I think that one's completely clogged, and that's in the main jet circuit, so that would definitely cause some problems. So I'm going to see if I can't clear that out. Well, I don't know. I'm perplexed. I can't push anything through that hole. I don't want to drill the hole out. If I look down this side here, there looks like there's a brass plug in there. Now, if that brass plug is inserted and it blocks that hole, it may be intentionally cut off. So rather than force the issue there, I decided to explore another possibility, which was that secondary section of the jet way down there that I couldn't get out on this carburetor because it was seized and I didn't want to mess with. I was trusting that the carb cleaner would get to it. Well, I took the one out of the other carburetor, the original carburetor, and you can see that's got quite a few holes in it. And obviously if any of these holes were clogged, that would be a problem. So I think now I'm going to have to take that one out to inspect it. If I don't destroy it, I'll clean it and put it back in, or I'll use this one that I got out of the original carburetor, which might not be a bad idea anyways, only because this might be a different jetting. So Let's see if I can get that one out. Well, I broke it free and got it to come out. And it came out, and it's clean as a whistle. But guess what? You look at the end of it, that opening is much smaller than the one on this one. See if I can't get a shot of them side by side. So there you go. And I'm wondering why this thing's running so lean at high speed. Obviously, the one on the right is from my scrapyard carburetor, junkyard carburetor, which came off a smaller horsepower motor, and the one on the left is the original. So now I'm going to put the original one back in here. I'm going to put the original one, not back in. I'm going to put the original one in my junkyard carburetor, effectively rejetting that carburetor for the higher horsepower engine, and see what happens. Okay, carb's back together with the what should be the proper size jet now. So let's install it and see how it runs. Okay, carburetor's all hooked back up, and put some more gas in my auxiliary gas tank here. Full choke. Ignition's on. Let's see what we got. still running like shit. I re-hooked it up to the main fuel tank. Idle's pretty good. It's all about the high speed. It sucks. It's not surging anymore, but now what it's doing is it's spitting and coughing. It's not running anywhere near as smooth as it should. Still surging too. It's backfiring out of the fucking carburetor. I'm getting pretty discouraged and disgusted at this point. I've run out of things I can think of. Could be a problem where the jet inserts have been damaged from me getting them in and out because they were seized in there so badly. My last attempt is going to be this hole right here, which seems to be either completely clogged or is by design blocked off. If it's by design, if it's blocked off, then I'm probably not supposed to touch this. But I'm going to go with the possibility that it is completely blocked, and I'm going to force it clean and then see what happens.